Good afternoon. This is Dr. Spates, your very proud principal of Shadow Hills. It took me a little bit of time to think about how I wanted to share this message with you this evening, um, but I'm ready. I want to talk about safety. So I have to share that the people that are part of this school community, our faculty, our staff, have been working tirelessly to transform this school community so that it feels safe for our students. Our teachers offer over 33 clubs before lunch and after their school at the end of the day. They volunteer their time, some of them, opening up their classrooms to be of support to students. We have tutoring in every discipline: math, science, language arts, social studies. We've invested in new equipment for our students to use during lunch so that they have the opportunity to release energy and play sports. Our district office supported us with beautiful facilities, a gym, refreshed basketball courts. Our athletic director made sure that all of our outdoor courts had nets and fresh nets for students to begin the year. Everything matters. Our campus supervisors are out roving the campus on posts. Students and parents, you guys tell me that you appreciate that our bathrooms are safe. In schools outside of our district, parents have told me that their older children don't even use the restroom because they don't feel safe in their bathrooms. Our bathrooms don't have graffiti and they're safe for students, but this is a team effort. It takes everybody. And so I want to talk about safety and just be very, very clear that I want to continue to partner with parents, but I need people to know from the community that our schools, especially Shadow Hills, just because that's my school, right? Our school, but all schools, that's sacred ground. That's sacred ground, right? Our babies need to be able to come to school every day and know that their campus is safe and come without anxiety and without stress, right? And shame on anybody in the community who would want to make school not feel like a safe place for our students. And so I want to be very clear that if there is any negative influence from the community who causes my students to feel anxious about coming to school, I will be very persistent in making sure that there is a penal consequence, if possible, for those outside people, right? Shadow Hills is sacred ground. And so parents, I need your support with this so that we send a very clear message that our schools, but Shadow Hills, it's off limits. Okay? I'm going to be scheduling a meeting soon, calling on dads. We see moms all the time, and we appreciate, dads are working too, but there's nothing. I'm a woman who runs a school, but there's nothing like that male presence. And so, especially for students who may not have father figures in the home, I'm going to be scheduling a meeting for dads because I want to hear from you and talk to you about safety and get your ideas and your expertise. But I also want to follow one of our schools, Los Amigos. So shout out to the principal, Dr. Diaz, where she has engaged fathers, and I'd like to follow her lead. I'd like to meet with our dads, our father figures, our grandfathers of students to see if you are willing to share your time with our students, not every day, but when you can. I have 872 students, so you probably only have to do it once to line our street across the street from the school and show presence before and after school. But we need to talk about how that's done. And you do need to be fingerprinted through the district in order to do that. But I would appreciate your support in partnering with us, just your presence to let people know that Shadow Hills, that's sacred ground, right? That space is for our children. So there will be information coming out about that. And dads, we're calling on you. And even though this meeting, I'm calling for fathers, for grandfathers of our students, everything is always inclusive. Okay. So I want to make sure that we're on the same page also with video. Okay. If you have videos that you feel like are important for somebody to see, I have an amazing administrative team, and I invite you to come into our school. You can share the video with us. You can send it to our email, but I'm asking that you don't share that publicly with people, because I have students on my campus who are protected. So their faces can't be seen, and you never know who will get caught in a video. So please do not share those videos with a media outlet. Share it with us so that we can use the information to keep our students safe, right? And not create fear and anxiety that doesn't need to be there. Additionally, traffic. There have been 2 car accidents near our school. And so parents, I'm asking you, please follow the traffic rules. We see U-turns in the middle of the street. Our crossing guards have reported that around our starting time, so I'm believing it's our parents, are speeding through crosswalks. Please slow down and follow the traffic rules. Okay, for the safety of our children. Our crossing guards are out there putting their lives on the line every day, and having to fight through the traffic. There's somebody's mom, dad, aunt, loved one. Please, please slow down and follow all of the traffic rules. And I just want to just share one more thing, actually, before I close out. Because at Shadow Hills, we care about the whole child, right? And we understand that they're babies, and when there are things that are on their heart and mind, they don't process like adults. And sometimes I think they process better than I do, because if I was living through some of the things that they're living through right now, I don't know if I would be able to show up for work every day like they show up for school every day. But because they are babies and their brains are still processing, right? When there are things on their heart and mind, we see behaviors but that's a symptom of something else that is going on with them. So our faculty, our staff, we love our students at Shadow Hills, and we want our families and students to know that they're loved. And so we just started what we call the RISE team. And so the RISE team meets every Wednesday. We select about 7 students that we want to spend time with you, the caregiver, with the student, learning about them, learning about what's on their heart, on their mind, looking at the whole child, so that we can come up with a plan to support them, to make sure that they continue to rise. And they are successful at our school. Our RISE team consists of our literacy coach, Ms. Musamichi, our restorative justice teacher, Mr. Jackson, our counselor, Dr. Burns, our school psychologist, Ms. Baduro, a general education teacher, Mrs. Alexandra Johnson. We have a special education teacher, Mrs. Lacole Johnson, 2 Johnsons, which is why I say the first name, and myself. And so we are committed to doing this work every Wednesday. We meet with families and develop a plan, and then we'll circle back in 3 weeks just to see how your student is doing. So when you receive if you receive an invite, please know it's a supportive process, and we're just here to let your student know that they're loved. And we had meetings today. I don't want to get emotional. And we had a student who told us that when we were asking her to think of something positive about herself, she couldn't think of one thing. And so we asked her, well, what would your family member say about you? And she has a mom who's raising her on her own. And you guys know that I was a single mom. And she couldn't even think of one positive thing that her mom would say about her. So I just, again, encourage you to just speak life and positivity into students. But we're so fortunate to have the team that we have at Shadow Hills, who genuinely cares about your student. And so I'm asking for your continued partnership. In the spring, we see an increase in behaviors. It's just what it is in school, especially middle school. I don't know any other grade level, but in middle school that we see it. And so when members of our team call, I ask that you trust the phone call and let's just talk about how we can partner to make sure your student is successful. I haven't gone into data this month. In January, we saw an uptick of suspensions, and I'm never proud about having to do that. That number was 17, really high. This month, it's come down to 9. Right? But that's still not proud about that either, right? The goal is to create a school where we don't have to do that because we are addressing what's on their heart and mind in partnership with you. And so I just want to launch us with this. Let us be examples. Let us be examples for our students. They do what we do, not what we tell them to do. So please be an example for your students. Please look forward to the communication coming out where I will be engaging fathers and grandfathers because our kids need you, and the students who don't have a dad, they need to see your presence too. Have a great week.